Hello guys, and welcome back to Everything Tumbler Tutorials with Creative Vinyl Designs. Today we're going to be working on something not Tumbler related, and I'm super excited to show you guys this method using water slides on canvases. The water slides I bought off Amazon, and I'll share that link with you below. And I also bought 8x10 packages of 10 canvases, also off of Amazon. Fairly inexpensive for this project to DIY it yourself. I have looked for water slides on canvases. I swear I saw one a while back, a long time back, and I cannot find it anywhere. So now I'm like, did I see it? I don't know if I saw it, but we're going to attempt this today. I have done several that I would love to show you as what I've done, but I can't because they are Christmas gifts. But these here, these are for me. So I can show these off. These are my grandbabies, Elena, Gavin, and Kaya. So I am making these for me. So I just want to show you just how quick and simple this is without using Mod Podge, without using anything, other than the fact that I did seal both these images with the clear seal as well as PlastiDip. So when this project is done, I'm not going to put Mod Podge, I'm not covering it with anything. And you will see that it's sealed and you have the texture from the back of this canvas through the image. It's really neat. I also do not seal this canvas. I mean, it's just pulled right out of the box as is. I've not done anything to prep this canvas, only the images themselves. So with that being said, let's just jump right in with Elena. And I've already got my water over here, so I'm just going to gently push it into the water and get it nice and wet, just as if it were going on a tumbler. This is the exact same technique. So we're going to move these two over so I don't get them wet. I don't want to mess them up. Very inexpensive. I printed these out myself using my InkJet printer. Same exact concept as the tumblers. This is easier though. This just slides right on. My original fear when I first thought of this idea and attempted it is I didn't think that the water slide was even going to adhere to the canvas. It's the complete opposite. It adheres very, very well. So if you're going to do any stretching or any pulling of any kind, you want to keep the backing on, and we'll get to that. You'll see that process in a second. And I don't worry too much about the sides. These can be put in frames. You know, they might not even be seen. So you'll see, I'm not really too concerned about the sides. But we'll get to that in just a second. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But this is just such a fun way and an inexpensive way to have your own photos. Obviously, if you want your pictures larger than an 8x10, you can go Walgreens, Costco, any of your local places that does the photo printings. And you can get them larger, and you can purchase the larger canvases. Hobby Lobby, Michael's. So you just want to be really careful getting this off. I also want to point out as well that I had already trimmed my sides. Let me get this a little bit more wet. It's sticking to this one side. I had already trimmed the edges before we got started. Okay, let's see if she's ready to come off this backing. Help it out a little bit. So I'm just going to pull just a little bit so I can get it on the canvas to start, and then I can have somewhere to kind of grab. I'm hoping not to block you guys from seeing this. So I'm just basically going to fold that down. And while the backing is still here, this is where you can tug and just stretch it out a little bit so that you have a nice edge and even on both sides. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to go the whole side of the canvas. So don't stress about that. Just give it a little bit of a pull, just so that your sides do have something to adhere to. And as long as the back is connected to the slide itself, that's when you have the opportunity right then and there to continue to spread the image. Once it hits the canvas, that's a lot more difficult to do. And then we can just get the air pockets, but you see, it's literally just, I mean, as soon as I'm pulling away, it's sticking to the canvas perfectly. Just try to do this where you guys can see where I'm not, my hand's not in the way. And then I just gently pull. If I notice like I've got more on one side than I do the other, that's okay, because now's the time while your backing is still there to give it a nice pull. And you're not pulling so much that you're distorting the image, because I did resize these on a website online, and I just resized the image. So I have a little bit of a play in order to stretch it to where it's not being distorted. I hope you guys can see how it's just adhering so nice. I have more on one side than I do the other, but I'm really not worried about it. These are for me. And for tutorial purposes, it's really ideal just for you guys to see that it in fact does work. It works really well, actually. You see the air bubbles just going right on out the image. And then you just finish pulling. And just lay it right over the edge. This project does not have to be soaked. I mean, you can see whatever was there is there. As far as what I pulled from here, from the water. You just dab it a little bit to get your sides a little wet, make sure it sticks. And just try to get all your air bubbles out. You know, if you see the air pockets, I promise you from the ones that I have done, I'm sorry, I keep bumping that camera, guys. I'm really sorry about that. It doesn't matter, because the canvas itself is not a perfect canvas anyways, and it does kind of help give that canvas appearance. Let's see if I can show you this up close. So I'm just going to kind of like wrap this. You can even cut this if you really wanted to, but again, this is not a big deal. This is going to be going on my wall and no one's going to see it anyways. And it's literally just that simple. I mean, you can see that took no time at all. And Elena is now on my canvas, which can hang on my wall. Let's see if I can get any closer. You can really see the true texture of the canvas. And because I've already sealed this, I sealed it 3 times with the clear, and then I sealed it 3 times with the PlastiDip. And I did that just because out of habit, I know with tumblers, you really want to make sure that you seal it so it doesn't tear. But this is so simple and so quick. And she's done. Now we can set her off to dry. And I'm going to grab the other one for this set. So same exact technique. We're just going to put it back into the water. Sorry you can't see that. It's kind of over here down. But you just, if you've ever done any water slides, you know the process. I used regular cold tap water. I don't warm it up or any of that. It's just cold water. Again, canvas is completely untouched right out of the Amazon box in which it came in. That's all. The only thing you need to do is prep your image and make sure, you know, the sealing is very important, because you want to make sure that when you put the images in the water that they don't bleed. That is the sole purpose of sealing. The PlastiDip just allows the elasticity that you're going to need if you need to do any pulling or maneuvering to get it to fit around the canvas the way you'd like it to fit. So that's really the only purpose for the PlastiDip, but it's fantastic because I also use it on when I do 30-ounce wraps on tumblers and 20-ounce wraps. I use the PlastiDip for those water slides as well. So the exact same steps. So just letting this sit just for a second, just trying to get it to release from its backing. See if it's ready. Sometimes you got to manipulate it off the sides, especially when you cut it after you've sealed it. Not a big deal. Okay, so I think we're about ready. So again, I just kind of, before I place it onto the canvas, I just give myself that little bit of a lip, and then I just keep pushing and get it placed right where I'd like it to go. And I do kind of want it to overlap just a little bit. And then just kind of pull it just a little. Same process as the other one. Again, you can see I'm not distorting my image at all. They're exactly the same as they were. And the wrinkles, you'll see those come right out. So when you initially start tugging, I had learned you can't pull straight from the center because it's like an air pocket. It's tight. It doesn't want to give. So I just start at one side and get it going, and then I can go to the other side. Once I get it like that, the air pocket's somewhat released, and it gives me a chance to pull evenly across the whole picture. And there's no reason to rush this. So you can work this out. You have a little bit of time to play with it because you did use PlastiDip to protect the image. So you have a little bit of play as far as manhandling the image itself. You're not going to hurt it. And then I'm just going to work it along the edges as I go down. It's not necessary, but if you want to make sure your sides are even, if that's something that concerns you, you want to do that now before you completely pull this backing off. Work it out before you get too far. And just like that, we're just going to go. Now wait a second, get these air pockets out. They're pretty easy to get out. I mean, believe it or not, they're pretty easy to get out. And then we just keep going. I'm not pushing very hard, and the finger that I am using is it's got a little bit of water. It's a little bit slippery, if you will. So it's just enough that I'm not putting hard, dry pressure on this image at all. And then put my left hand back on the top and go. So just like that, same as before. Now we're just going to kind of go down and out. Very simple, guys. This is so simple. And if you've ever had experience with WaterSlide before, this is going to be very simple for you. And my biggest concern about it not sticking to the canvas, that was not a concern at all, because as you can see, it stuck perfectly. And that's it. It's done. A couple of air pockets right here, but I'm not too concerned about that because if you can see, like, look at the textures of this. I mean, it definitely has the canvas texture. So I will not be Mod Podging this. I will not be sealing this in any way because technically it's already sealed. So here's my edges. Again, see, they're not perfect. It doesn't go all the way down, but that's okay. It's a canvas. It doesn't have to be, and it's for me. I mean, again, if it's something that concerns you, you can stretch it a little bit more. You can play with it, practice it, see what you can do, or these can be framed. But I like the actual look of the canvas, so this will stay as is. And so now we have them both. And that's all there is to it. WaterSlide on canvases, guys. Well, thanks for joining me back with Everything Tumbler Tutorials with Creative Vinyl Designs. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.